Good morning and welcome to the little apartment on the prairie. I wanted to do a video about homemade and not too expensive and not too difficult to make holiday gifts, because I think a lot of us have a limited budget for holiday gifts this year, and also I think holiday gifts might be extra important this year because a lot of us are going to be sending holiday gifts, hi whiskers, because we're going to be social distancing and not able to travel and not able to get together with friends and family. So first of all, let me tell you about the best homemade and not too expensive gift that I ever got. It was this infinity scarf. And I'm going to tell you why it was such a great gift. I don't know if the light's too good or not, if you can see the colors in it. It's got this orangey rust color in there, and then it's got some brown. Let me tell you why this was such a wonderful gift. So several years ago, I was hired to tutor this kid who was in middle school. His mom was undergoing treatment for cancer at a large university hospital near where I lived at the time. And she was a single mom, and she and her son were staying with relatives in the area while she got treatment for cancer. And she was a single mom, and she couldn't leave the kid home, and they were from another state. She couldn't leave the kid in another state by himself, so he came with her. So he was going to be missing school for a couple months. I think it was like 8 weeks maybe, or 10 weeks that she was undergoing treatment. And it was over the holiday season. And his teacher from back home, provided assignments for him to do. Hi, whiskers. But, he was not going to be able to just sit down and do all these assignments and learn all this stuff himself. And Mom didn't feel like she'd be able to help him with all of it, especially the math. And she didn't know how she was going to be feeling because she was undergoing this treatment that might make her feel unwell. And so I got hired to tutor him in all of his subjects. And so we met 3 days a week at the local library, and it was such a fun tutoring job because, the teacher provided the assignments, but I brought in supplemental materials to help him learn the material. And we did different things, like he had to do this project. It had to be a PowerPoint project. It wasn't like a term paper, but maybe it was the current version of one, with doing it with media, with the PowerPoint. But anyway, on a marine mammal. And he picked polar bears, which apparently are considered marine mammals, even though they don't live in the water, because they get all their food from the sea. And so we took a field trip to a nearby zoo to look at polar bears, which all they were doing was sleeping in the snow. They weren't doing anything interesting. But while we were there, we looked at other animals, including they had an aquarium, so we got to see manatees, which are also marine mammals. Cat fight. You guys, Whiskers is PO'd. All right, so anyway, this lighting's bad. My lighting's often bad. The mom would come with the kid to the library 3 days a week. It was the days that she wasn't having treatment. But what she would do while I was tutoring her son was she would sit in a comfy chair and she would knit these infinity scarves. And she showed me that, she was making them, and I said, oh, those are really neat. And she surprised me like a couple days before Christmas by giving me not only a card, but a scarf that she made me. And what was so wonderful about the gift, I mean, it's a pretty scarf, but what made it such a wonderful gift was I had these two favorite sweaters that I wore a lot. One was this orangey rust kind of color, and the other was brown. So she made the scarf in these colors that matched really well two of the sweaters that I wore a lot. And just that, you know, I knew she didn't feel very well. I knew she didn't have a lot of money, and, you know, but she was able to make this for me. And you could see that she put a lot of thought into it because the colors matched just so well, things that she'd seen me wear a lot. So it's partly the thought as well as the gift that made it a wonderful gift. But actually these scarves they were really popular a few years ago. I don't think they're as popular now, but they still make really good gifts because they don't require a lot of material. Sassy, quit licking Isaac's tail. He doesn't like that. I know, you don't like that, do you? He says, no, but I like a treat. Did you get treat crumbs on my couch? Yeah. So, that's actually is a good gift to make for someone because you can find a video on YouTube that'll tell you how to do it, and they don't take a lot of yarn. What people on Facebook told me, I did this survey and asked people what was the best gift they got. A lot of people said a handmade blanket, whether it's crocheted or knitted or whatever, and I agree those are great gifts. You have to know how to crochet or knit, and they take kind of a lot of time to make one, and all the yarn can be expensive. So it's a great gift, but kind of the scarf is something that doesn't take as long to make and isn't as hard to learn to make, and it doesn't require expensive materials. One person told me the best gift that she ever got was this notebook I gave her, and I meant it to be kind of like a journal with lots of pages where she could write whatever she wanted, but I found all these little quotes that I thought would be meaningful to her or that she would like, and some little pictures that I thought she would like that I printed out from the computer and cut out and pasted into the journal. So like each page had somewhere on the page, oh, Sassy's gonna lick Whisker's tail, and Whiskers doesn't want her butt cleaned either, Sassy. Man. And I made that for something like that for another friend once that I meant to be used as a prayer journal, but it had just quotes or pieces of scripture that I thought would be meaningful. And there are a couple pictures of like praying hands and stuff like that, that I put in it. And I made that with a composition book that you can get at the dollar store for probably $1, maybe $2. And then it mostly just takes a lot of time to find the right quotes and put the right things in there. Whiskers, don't chew on that. She's like chewing up an envelope on my coffee table. Whiskers, you guys are interrupting. Man. Okay, so food gifts. Several people on my Facebook page said that food gifts were some of their favorites, like jams or jellies, or I think somebody mentioned pickles. Like, I know cookies, people often give like baked goods like cookies or some kind of sweets at the holidays, and those are nice, but a lot of people give those as gifts, so some people might feel like that, you know, they don't need more sweets at that time. I've given apple butter along with a loaf of homemade bread, and that's a good homemade gift. So those are some good gift ideas, I think, for adults. Also, you can do homemade, like, Christmas tree ornaments. My sister used to, every year with her kids when they were little, they would make a different ornament. And I have several of them still. And they would make them, she'd pick one each year, and she and her kids would make a bunch of them and give them out to everybody in the family, and they'd have the year written on it. And those were nice gifts, and it was nice that the kids were able to participate as well. And I think that those could be really good gifts this year, especially if you're not able to get together with people at the holidays, if you've got kids, to kind of get them to participate in making something for someone. And the ornaments that my sister made were, you know, they weren't with anything expensive. They would be affordable. And you can find all kinds of ideas for affordable ornaments online. Let me know what ideas you guys have for affordable homemade Christmas gifts. I'm going to do another video that's going to be specifically about gifts for kids. but I thought I'd do separate videos, gifts for adults and then gifts for kids. But share in the comments what ideas you have, because I'm sure you have some other ideas that I haven't thought of. And for a lot of people, there's not a lot of extra money this year for Christmas, or Hanukkah or whatever holiday you celebrate. But we still want to make the holidays special, especially since we may not get to do things like go to church or have parties that we used to have and things like that. So let me know your ideas. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't already. And have a great day.